Hey, happy Monday, folks. Hope everyone is having a great start to the week. Thanks again for joining us for another edition of Titan Talk. I'm Isiah. Got Killgoon with me, as usual. And no guest today, but we figured we'd kick off the week pretty simple, go over some patch note stuff. We've got some other stuff that we're going to talk about in a little bit.
Yep.
But we're here. We're ready to talk about some SMITE. How you doing, Killgoon?
Doing good. Yeah, we're just talking about our weekends. Had a decent weekend. Nothing too exciting, but it was glad to be back in the office. Watched a little bit of the playoffs.
Oh yeah, playoffs.
The playoffs for SMITE. There was some really good plays.
Oh yeah, I saw Hercules play.
Oh dude, that was
media.
Sick.
It was nuts.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you have not seen it, you should go check out the Twitter account.
Exactly. Check out SMITE Pro and make sure you lock in this weekend and check out playoffs. But
yes.
Speaking of weekends, we did have a patch go out over the weekend with some bug fixes, so we're gonna bring that up and cover everything that went live. I believe this went out Saturday evening after playoffs. So some bug fixes headed your way or already on the battleground. General, we fixed an issue where objective health bars didn't show up if an ally or ward had vision, which is a big one, kind of getting in line with that SMITE 1 parity. We fixed an issue with audio lowering momentarily when using abilities while standing over gifts in arena. And we also fixed the buff belt VFX being left lingering in the air after picking up a buff. On the God side of things, just a few bug fixes here for Izanami. Spectral projection, we fixed a typo for the word projection in the description. Kepri, the abductability, we fixed an issue where the duration was not scaling up with rank to 1.9 seconds properly. And last but not least, Nemesis, Swift Vengeance, we fixed an issue where you were unable to cast a second dash if you were out of mana after the first cast. So just some bug fixes around there. We're going to continue to work on stuff. I believe we've got some more bug fixes down the line that we're going to get out. In terms of balance, I believe we're going to keep things a little bit lighter this week.
Yes. So we are in the middle of this kind of playoffs push right now, and we don't want to dramatically upset the balance of the game for people that are playing for their spots in Vegas right now. So I would expect not much balance this week, maybe a couple light things, but a bigger balance pass coming next week with the 3 new gods and the bigger patch.
Exactly, yeah. We didn't want to shake things up too much mid-tournament. It would feel really bad for everyone competing to have a really big shake-up after playing the first round of games and then having to come back this weekend for the next round of games. Super important weekend as well for all the teams because the people who qualify this weekend head to the in-studio land, which then qualify to Vegas. So didn't want to shake things up too much, kind of keep that competitive integrity, give the pros enough time to scrim out on all the stuff that's live right now without shaking things up too much.
Yep. And I will say also, I know that there's like a couple bugs that were brought up last time that we've already gotten fixed in dev. I know the Baron's AO1 being too high, the skulls that fire lasers, that's already been fixed in dev, so that'll be coming out to the live client sometime soon. A lot of really good bug feedback last time from the people in chat. So we got a lot of those things either fixed or in progress. So
all right. Well, the next item, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so
Killgoon, I'll pass it to you.
Quick intro before we as probably everybody who's watching this knows, we're not selling skins in SMITE 2 right now. But we've been getting a lot of people asking us to start selling skins again in SMITE 2. So we're actually going to be turning some skins back on for purchase today.
Yes.
So that you'll be able to buy some skins in SMITE 2. It's not new skins. We didn't do new work. This is stuff that you could have bought in SMITE 1 via cross-gen, but will now be on in SMITE 2. So you can buy it there. But we want to make sure that when we brought it back, we did it right. So I could just talk through this all off my head, but I feel like it's easier to follow my meanderings if there's also a visual. So I just threw some words on a slideshow. This is not like a pretty PowerPoint like last time.
Right.
It's literally just so you're not staring at me and you have some words that you can progress while looking.
I'm going to bring up the screen. It wouldn't be Titan Talk without a PowerPoint.
Not PowerPoint. PowerPoint. Yeah, no, it's not a great PowerPoint. But literally, I just wanted you guys to have something to look at while I was talking for 10 minutes. So just reiterating that skins are not our focus right now, right? We really don't care about skins right now. Everybody that's at the studio is focused on making the core game great. Turning skins back on was something I think somebody did in like an hour, right? This is not, I probably spent as much time putting the words on this slideshow and talking about it on this show as we have spent actually turning them back on. We don't have anybody making new skins at the moment. A handful of people will start on that soonish, as we've said before, because we're kind of getting ready for more of like a battle passy type thing early next year, right? Once we get through this push to get to 50 gods. And like I said, all of the skins that we're turning back on are available to purchase in Smite 1 right now. There's nothing that is new. And through cross-gen, you could have bought them that way. This is just to make it easier to buy things directly in Smite 2. And we're pricing them because people keep asking us to price things to buy directly in Smite 2.
Next slide.
Next slide, yeah.
Boom.
So just for people that maybe aren't aware why we turned skin sales off in the first place, I thought it's worth covering really quickly. The number one reason was we didn't want people to think that we made Smite 2 just to sell skins. Yeah. Like, yes, we have to make money to keep making a game that is, you know, it's basic business. We got to pay for the servers. We got to pay for the salaries of people working here and whatnot. But that wasn't the focus. And I think it came across too much like that was the focus based on the content that was in that initial shipping like alpha build, because we had all these cross-gen skins that were coming over, right? It wasn't like we made a bunch of new content specifically to sell in Smite 2. It was mostly cross-gen stuff, but still just, it seemed wrong, right? So, we players were really focused on this and really upset about it, and we probably should have expected that they would have been, because it didn't look good, even if it wasn't our intent to be focused on monetization at this point in the game. We really weren't expecting to sell very many skins in Smite 2 at the time, because everything was already cross-gen, and we just thought it was an extra way to buy things. Number two reason was we didn't have any way of showing skins at a discount or selling skins other than via direct purchase. And direct purchase is always the most expensive way to buy skins in Smite 1, right? So very few people will buy a skin that's direct purchase, especially direct purchase not on sale.
Right.
And, you know, I would say it's less than 5% of our revenue, not just purchases, comes from direct purchase skins, right? So it made skins look even more expensive than they're actually going to end up being in the long run, because we don't expect a lot of people to just buy direct purchase skins, right? There'll be events, there'll be battle passes, there'll be, you know, chests, all the ways of getting discounted content. There'll be sales, weekend sales or whatever. All that stuff's going to keep going, but we just didn't have a way to do that yet. So it made the stuff look more expensive. And then number 3 point was, I think we did make a couple of mistakes with the pricing, even considering that we only had direct purchase. Prices, I think, were just a little bit too high, generally speaking. We did change the way the currency works, so it's harder to kind of one-to-one, but I think we did price things a little bit too high. And one skin in particular, Jokey Loki, we priced way too high because we weren't paying attention at the Smite 1 price, and it didn't follow through on one of our kind of like commitments to equal purchase power for legacy gems. So with that said, next slide. How are we bringing them back? Okay, so skins are going to come back in waves with an initial discount. So every week or two, we're going to come out with another wave of skins, and we're currently planning to turn them on in every week where we don't have a major update. So if we aren't dropping gods that week, we'll turn on a few more skins. During that initial release period, they'll have a pretty large initial discount off the full direct purchase price. It'll be between like 45 and 67% for this initial wave of skins, of 6 skins that are turning on today. Just because we want people to see, like, you can get these things cheaper, and we're going to be selling them cheaper in the future. We just don't have a lot of ways to sell things right now. After that, we're going to leave skins on at a sale price about 1/3 off of the full direct purchase price, at least through the end of alpha. But we may continue it until we have even more ways to sell skins after that. At some point, the skins will go back to their direct purchase price when there's other ways to acquire them. But we have lowered that full direct purchase price from the initial pricing. So epic skins used to be 2,600. They're now 2,400. So that's 8% less, which is exact pricing parity with Smite 1's direct purchase price of 1,200 gems. So it's because diamonds are worth basically twice. So the math works out. And you do get double legacy gems if you buy a founder's pack, just to get to pricing parity, or something that we had said previously. And legendary skins are now 3,200, which is 11% lower than they were. They were previously 3,600. So just off the bat, we've reduced the price by very roughly about 10% for direct purchase, right? Again, we don't expect a lot of people to ever buy skins direct purchase full price, but if you do make that choice, it won't be quite as bad of a decision as maybe it was previously. So next slide. Classic skins going on sale today. We will have Jokey Loki and Meltdown Soul. Both of these will be priced at 800 diamonds. Jokey Loki will always be 800 diamonds because he is 400 gems in Smite 1. So that's the same price, right? So we didn't raise the price. I believe that if you had purchased previously, we will be doing a refund. You'll get your legacy gems back. So if you previously bought at the high purchase price, we'll make you right. Don't worry about it. And then Meltdown Soul will be 800 diamonds for this first 2 weeks that she's available. And then the price will go up to 1,600 diamonds for the rest of Alpha. And then eventually she will be 2,400 diamonds, which is twice the Smite 1 price of 1,200 gems. So if you act now, I believe they might be on now. They might be on shortly after this show. You can get these skins for 800 diamonds or 800 legacy gems because these are classic skins that we have brought over.
Next slide.
Next slide.
Boom.
We'll have 2 epic skins going on sale today. Epic skins, as a reminder, you can pay 50% of the purchase price with legacy gems, or you can pay it all in diamonds if you don't have legacy gems. Honor Roll Amaterasu will be available for 1,200 diamonds, which is 50% off the full price initially. It'll go up to 1,600 for the rest of Alpha, and then the long-term price will be 2,400. Headhunter Cernanos will be 1,300 initially, go up to 1,600, and then 2,400 long-term. Yeah. So again, hopefully it's very, very fair pricing. Taylor in chat says they're on now. So if you want to look at these in game right now, they should be in game and showing you this pricing. And then the last one is we have 2 legendary skins going on sale today. Well, I just moved the table. I didn't mean to do
that. You're
good. Again, legendary skins also purchasable, 50% off legacy gems. Death's Range Hawk will be an initial sale price of 1,600 diamonds, which is 50% off the full price. The rest of the Alpha, he will be 2,100 diamonds, which is 34% off. And then long-term, 3,200 diamonds, which is double the Smite 1 price of 1,600 gems. Prismatic Gust Kukulkan, initial sale price of 1,600 diamonds, 56% off. Alpha discount price of 2,100 diamonds, which is 34% off. And then long-term price of 3,200 diamonds, which is more than the direct purchase Smite 1 price. But we are just changing the way that we're pricing tier 4s versus tier 3s for direct purchase. Yes. You're still going to be able to get things in chests. You're still going to be able to get things other ways. But just we want to make clear that like skins are of a different rarity and of a different cost. Yes. So we will be kind of sticking with that. Like legendary skins are going to be slightly more expensive than epic skins if you're looking just at the direct purchase price. Yep. So that is the TLDR.
Yes,
so
I believe that is your last slide. Yeah.
If you have legacy gems, right, you can get Prismatic Gust Kukulkan for 700 diamonds, which is like less than $10, right? So this is we think it's pretty good pricing. We think it's pretty fair. We think it's hopefully a lot better and more what people were hoping and expecting for at the beginning. For any skins that aren't classic skins, you can pay 50% of the price with legacy gems. For the classic skins, you can pay the whole price with legacy gems. We still do need to make money, so hopefully it's a good price where you guys are happy with it, and we can still make some money and progress. So, I will read chat now and see if there were any questions that I missed.
I believe that's all we had to cover today, so we can just hop right into Q&A.
I'll say I hate talking about money and talking about pricing on stuff. Like I would much rather just talk about like, are we having fun with the game? Let's work on the game. But this was a big community point of upset.
We felt that it was important to be transparent. Yes, especially with all the feedback that we got when we initially dropped skins. So,
cool. So, so long-term skins will be 2,400 diamonds for the epic tier. That's correct. Sonic Keyblade 00, which is just under $20, I believe. Yeah. It's around there. I don't have the conversion in front of me, but it's in the ballpark. But that is, again, I see that you say that you will buy a lot of direct purchase skins. Very few people buy direct purchase skins, which I think is part of what made it so bad. Will chess be back? Chess will be back eventually. Smite players historically just like chess because they give them a cheap way to get skins and to build out a collection, right? It's kind of like a randomized discount, we have tried a lot of things over the years that potentially we thought would be more appealing than chess. Chests have always been the preferred way to purchase skins for our players. And you can look at it any way you slice it, like the number of people that are purchasing things via chess, the amount of money that we make via chess, everything just points towards people like to buy things in chess. If you don't, we want to make sure that you have ways that you can buy things, which are direct purchase or events when they're initially released, because almost every skin in Smite is part of an event when it's initially released. So we want to make sure that you still have those options in Smite 2 the same way you did in Smite 1. But we know that most players choose to buy things through chess when given the option, and will want to continue to do that going forward, we believe. So chess will come back sometime next year. But again, that's tech work that we have to do, and we'd rather focus on making the game better with our tech work right now than on making another way for you to buy things, right? So we will definitely get to that, but in the future. Let's see. There are people in chat who don't like chess. There are a lot of people who do like chess, though. I definitely understand the feeling. We just want to make sure that you have ways to get things in both ways.
Yes.
All skins will be purchasable in the future. No limited skins will all be unlimited. I don't know if we're 100% committed to that, and I wouldn't say that we will never release a limited skin in Smite 2. I will say we've learned over the years that we think that the unlimited system is probably better and more healthy, because it sucks to join a game late and not be able to get something that was cool that came out before you got there. And I think it's fairer to say you can get that, but you just have to spend a little bit more because you weren't around for it initially, right? So I think that players like the unlimited system better. So we'll probably do more of that, but that's not to say we'll never have a limited skin. There may be something that we do, that is that case, right?
Never say never, but I think we definitely do agree that the unlimited system is a lot better for players.
Yes. There was something, I think it's, sorry, chat's hard for me to read today for some reason. There was kind of a VXG thing. We do not have VXGs for the tier 4 skins that had VXGs in Smite 1 in Smite 2 yet. We still need to build the system to allow you to VXG. That's something that we're working on. I would expect relatively soon we'll have that. But yes, knowing that you do not have those right now.
So you can buy skins again today. Yes, they should be live as of right now.
What's the next plan of cosmetics besides God skins? Again, you all are thinking about this a lot more than we are right now. No, I mean, we definitely have thought about things. I think that, we have the Ascension passes, which have introduced a lot of like core types of cosmetics, right? So we have the card effects, we have the global emotes, we have badges, we have titles. Am I forgetting anything?
I think that's it.
And then we have skins. So I think that probably we'll keep building out things around those core systems at first, and then maybe put other things in later. I think that some of the things that I've just heard the community asking for the most are like, announcer packs and music packs. Like, I think people miss those. I'd love to get those in. Our audio team is swamped getting all the CODs in right now. So as soon as they have some time to breathe, maybe we can, take a look at that again. I think that there's a lot of mixed feedback on some of the other in-game cosmetics, like the level up animations, the fountain animations, the jump stamps, death stamps. I think that there are people who love and hate every single one of those. So I think we're still just kind of thinking about how we want to approach those and what we want to bring back and what we don't want to bring back. And we aren't committed to any of those. We've done zero work on any of them. We're focused mainly on the stuff that's in the game right now. Some questions about ColorForge. I think, so ColorForge was a system that we built out specifically for UE3 and for Smite 1. I think that the idea of being able to choose different colors for a skin is interesting and something that maybe will come back sometime in the future. But I wouldn't expect it to look exactly like the ColorForge system. That part of the good and the bad of that system was that it was kind of designed to be a shorter term system, right? The fact that you could collect a die and then use it on every skin meant that we very quickly ran out of dies to make. And we accidentally recreated the same die 3 times and then had to redo them. So I think, and that was we only put out 20 dies or something, right?
Something like that.
So I think that if we went back to the system, we would want to do it in a way where we could have more dies in some way, I don't know if we would go to where it's skin specific or if it's you can only equip it to one skin at a time, or I don't know. Like, there's probably a good way of doing it. We really haven't put much thought into beyond if we brought the system back, we would have to do it in a way that is more long-term sustainable and not just we can run 2 events with it and then we've exercised the entire design space and there's nothing else we can do with it. Smite 100-player Battle Royale win. Not anytime soon. It is a funny question. I've been through the development of Battle Royales here, and it is surprisingly difficult to make a Battle Royale work. And I think that if you enjoyed Medusa's Deathmatch, I think that was kind of as close to a Battle Royale as
round-based.
As we're going to be able to get in the short term. But maybe someday we'll find another way of going about it.
How do you guys go about finding out new features that players would want to buy? What metrics do you use? Suggestions, requests, etc.?
I would say it's kind of all of the above when it comes to like, I think there's kind of like, there's multiple, this is going to be a really dumb sentence. There's a lot of ways to approach things in the world, but if I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this, you cannot be 100% sure that something is going to work by statistics, right? A lot of people will either like lie to you with statistics or try and abuse the numbers to say this is what people want or whatever, right? But everything is always inherently biased, right? So generally speaking, the things that we latch onto as like, this is something that we should be pursuing is something that just gets people excited, right? So what's the thing that we are really excited to add to the game? We were really excited to make a much more interesting like loading card for the game. And then that evolved into, oh, what if we have multiple badges you can attach to it in the title and we can put the cool card effects and like everything came out of the basic idea of, man, it would be really cool if we had better loading cards, right?
The idea that you can have, customize it per god,
Yeah. Like, I think that all of that just came from that, right? And similarly, I think the global emotes, the way that we made those better with like, you can see it for yourself next to your god. And like, we actually have more things that we would like to do with global emotes we just haven't got to yet, right? It's just like, how can we liked being able to react to stuff in Smite 1 with global emotes. We were like, that was cool. How can we do that better, right? Yeah. And so the question is like, what's the idea that's going to get us excited? Because if we're really excited about it, then usually you get really excited about it. It's usually the things that we're kind of like just doing that you guys are not happy with at the end of the day. So it's just got to be something that we think is cool, which is kind of a nebulous response, but that's in a creative industry, that's usually what's the answer, right? It's like you see so many like paint by numbers games that are just like, I'm going to exactly copy this thing that this other game did, but it doesn't feel as good, even if it like mechanically is exactly the same, right? And it's like, why not? It's like, because it didn't have that passion there or whatever, right? And so hopefully we can keep coming up with cool ideas that you can feel there was like some passion behind it and it was like this cool thing that we wanted to do. So King Valhallix, I saw this last week. You asked me about Morgan's Oatwheel not being changed to regular cast. I went and I tested this and it was regular cast for me. So if you can tell me what platform you're on and what specific like control scheme and input mode or in cast type you're on, I can test it again and see if it if I missed something. But I literally spent like 15 minutes after this show on Friday being like, is it not fixed yet? And it seemed fixed to me. So please tell me your details and I will dive in.
Cool. While King Valhalla types, I will look for another question. Dun, dun, dun.
There's a question about raw nerfs. In general, we're going to try and be really light with balance this week because we're in the middle of playoffs for qualifying teams to our in-person LAN, which then will qualify for Vegas. And we don't want to like totally upset the apple cart on pro teams that have been putting a lot of time into practicing. So very light balance this week if there's any balance. And I sorry if there's a god that's annoying you personally.
Yeah, I will say that Ra in our statistics wasn't doing super well. So in the last balance patch, he actually got a buff.
Yeah.
I do know that he is being utilized really heavily in solo lane right now, and there's a solo lane build that's working really well on Ra. So I'll pass that feedback over to Lermy, and we'll definitely be on the lookout for that.
John B, we are aware of the issue with Ra being able to destroy a couple towers safely, and that is being looked at and fixed. So definitely thanks for bringing that one up. This question of disabling jump for console, I think, is interesting. We might just be able to have a disabled jump button in general really easily. I say really easily, but it might not be easy. But I'm going to take a picture of that, and we'll see if that's an easy thing to add. One of the things that came from the show that I think is going to be an easy thing to add that we might be able to get soon is cast types for relics and consumables. So I really do take notes from this show and I follow up on them. So please keep going on that stuff. There's also a question about global emote wheel, multiple VXEs.
Yeah, we've had that a couple of times.
Yeah, and we would love to do multiple VXEs for global emotes. It's just a piece of tech that we have to build. So it's probably going to come after this push to 50 gods if we get to
I know that's something I want just because the global emotes
they're
are so good.
Yeah.
I need all of them. Let's see here.
So this Bronx Mixed has asked this question a couple shows, so I'll address this one. Can you make L3, R3 on controller for console to a 180-degree turnaround? Theoretically, yes, we could put that in as an input, but every single button on console is being used right now. So you would have to move either your modifier or your jump or your cancel, I think, depending on what input scheme you're on. And we're kind of out of buttons.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could add it as something that you could choose to map in lieu of another button that's already mapped. But I think that it would be really hard to find the space, even as you're playing, to prioritize that over something else.
Let's see here. Kind of talked about this a little bit, but should we expect cosmetics other than skins to make the jump to SMITE 2, announcers, themes, loading screens? That's some of the stuff that we're thinking about. I know we've gotten a lot of feedback about announcer packs and music packs specifically. No plans quite yet, but it's definitely something that we're going to be considering, after this push to 50 gods.
Yep. Is there a progression system? Are there any progression systems coming other than Ascension passes? So there is, your account level as well, which is maybe not the most exciting. We're going to be trying to make it a little bit more exciting here in the future, but right now those are kind of the two main things. In the future, we will be adding like I keep saying battle pass like system, but something like that where there's skins that come out every few months that you progress to unlock. I don't think it's going to be the traditional go down a track system because I think that's kind of outdated. But something like that will be coming, after we get to 50 gods. If there's other, and then we also do have the progression on the trackers. But if there's other progression things that you think would be interesting or useful, let us know.
Yeah.
I see your post, King Valhalla. I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to test exactly that after this meeting or show, not meeting. Sorry. I'm in work mode.
I don't know how it works on PC, but on console, Nemesis dash on normal cast, the targeter for the second dash remains up. Can this be changed to be off, or at least let us cancel it during the first dash? Because it is awkward having to dash, then wait for it to finish to cancel the second. I thought that when we were talking about Nemesis, after the first dash, the targeter was supposed to default to off. If that's not happening on console, that's something that we should look
we should
into.
follow up with Lermy on that. I'll take a note on that one because I don't see the specific message. Pick another one while I'm typing.
Let's see here. Is there any push for new relics or bringing back old relics like Sprint or Ankh? I know we talked about this a couple of times. Right now, main focus is getting 50 gods out. After that, items, relics, all on the table. We know we've gotten a lot of feedback for just more interesting build variety. So I know that's something that Lermy is already thinking about post-January to, spice up the item variety department, specifically around active items and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then we do have Sprint right now on Rampage. Is the name of the item?
It's Rampage or Hussar's Wings. I always get the two confused.
So there are
or
ways.
Stampede.
Stampede. Yeah. Why did I say Rampage? So there are ways to get similar effects right now in Smite 2. It just kind of also ties into some of those big, powerful team fight abilities should be tied to buying items and as active items rather than just being something that you choose as a relic for level 1.
Let's see here. Can we get a way to quickly apply a border to every god instead of having to equip it on each one individually?
Yes. So we've talked about having a way to basically say equip all. Or having a default. Yeah, I think those are the two ways we were talking about. Either having a way to equip all or having like a default loadout that then would be applied to gods that you didn't have a custom loadout for. Yeah. But it's just, again, with the priorities right now, it hasn't been our top priority, but I agree it's something that we need to get in there.
Yeah. Someone asked, will achievements get reset after full release?
No, achievements will not be reset. Your mastery progress won't be reset. Level progress isn't going to be reset. You're still going to have the same amount of experience that you have right now, but we are going to recalculate the levels. We think that we kind of screwed up the leveling curve a little bit and made it so it was, I think people are higher level right now than they should have been able to be based on the amount of games that they have played. So the level that you are will change at some point, but the amount of XP that you have will not change.
Let's see here.
Sorry, Afro. Afro's apparently level 90 and will no longer be level 90. Will Smite 2 ever go to beta, or will it just go to full release? We'll go to beta. This is a long haul, guys. We feel like we're making really strong progress. We feel like the game's getting better every day, but we aren't just going to snap our fingers and be like, this alpha is now ready for a full release, right? I think the next phase for us will be beta, right? And then probably sometime after that we'll be in a full release. But for us, the tags of alpha and beta are not meant as an excuse of like, for us to not be done with things or anything like that, right? Like for us, alpha and beta means that like we are being very clear and communicating with the community and with potential players about the state of the game right now, right? Like I don't want you to go into Smite 2 thinking it's a finished game and then you're like, what the hell is this, right? Because there's a lot to love in Smite 2. There's a lot in Smite 2 that feels a lot better than Smite 1 already. But there's also a lot of rough edges that I think are more in keeping with calling it an alpha, right? My hope is that once we get through a couple more core systems that we're working on in the background, get some polish in there, get more gods, we'll feel like if we say this is a beta, when people play it, they'll say, this is a good beta.
Yeah.
And that's the point where we want to change the name to beta, right? I would rather have it be like, this is a good beta than this is a bad full release, right? Because even when we get to beta, we know that we have a long work to go before we're done.
Yeah.
So Snuffle's asking about the portals providing vision in a similar way to the lane portals. Actually, the lane portals don't provide vision. They have a baked-in image.
Image.
So it's not a live look at what's going on in the lane. We could definitely do something like, well, I don't even know if definitely, it's multiple different points. I would say theoretically, maybe we could do something with Giannis to where you could actually see through the portals. But I'm not sure. It might. The main reason why we don't do the live images for the lane portals in Smite 2 is strictly performance, right? So if there was a performant way to do it for the Giannis portals, we could definitely consider it.
Are we going to bring back the deicide voice line for a team wipe?
I didn't know it was missing.
Yeah, I know. That's a good point.
I wonder, we probably missed the accolade, so it doesn't have the voice line that's associated
with
attached
with it.
To it. So we probably need to add the deicide accolade and then get the voice line. But that's a really important one, and I appreciate you bringing that up.
It's iconic.
I'm just going to take a note. Yeah, that's a good one.
Let's see. Any plans for continued improvement with UI information and navigation with console specifically? The parity with Smite 1 to Smite 2 doesn't feel quite there yet. I would say I think our main goal is to get to that Smite 1
Yes.
parity. So if you have specific
Yes.
instances.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
The more specific you can be about what's not quite there yet, the better it is for us to fix it. Because we're at the point where like we've been staring at this thing for months and we're like, I think we got it all, right? And there's a few little narrow things that I know we're probably still missing. Yeah. So please let us know. Console apparently can't say attack the minions. Okay. That's interesting.
One thing that we did catch from Titan Talk last week is the console store being sorted alphabetically versus price, and that is being worked on, right?
Yes, that is something we were working on. I brought it up. It requires a little bit of new tech, but Charlie was looking at it. Yeah. So PC was always sorted by price ascending, and console was always sorted by alphabetically. When we made the console store, we just sorted it by price ascending, but we will get that to be alphabetical sometime soon. The challenges for each god, like in Smite 1 question. So instead of that, we did the trackers. We thought the trackers were a more interesting thing because it's not like just do this thing once. It's like we'll track you doing it for the rest of your time playing the game. But I mean, it's always something we can consider for the future, but we generally like the idea of trackers a little bit more.
Yeah. If we do that, I don't know if we would ever tie that to platform achievements like we did in Smite 1.
Yeah.
Just because achievements are so hard to work on.
Dude.
I don't want to, set off Killgoon's PTSD, but it's a lie.
No, so the thing about achievements is that once you certify an achievement, the achievement cannot change. Yeah. So if you change the way a god's kit works to where an achievement doesn't work anymore, you then have to go through a very difficult process to get that changed. And they're very mad about it. If you like the platforms, like I'm not trying to exaggerate, they'll like yell at you like for changing an achievement because it's not fair to people that have already done the achievement and yada yada. So it makes it really hard for us to make these things into achievements. More general achievements we could definitely consider doing, right? Like I don't think we're opposed to that. It's like I saw something once that Smite 1 has like top 10 most achievements of any game ever. And you can earn a lot of points playing Smite 1. And it's fun to be able to always be progressing those, but just from a dev perspective, it's just it's way more work than you think it would be, I would say. Do we have the possibility to custom some active items to instant cast, but not all of them? For example, I want the AoE beads to be instantly cast, but not the mushroom. When we do get in like the ability to change your cast type for your actives, it's going to be by slot. Yeah. So one thing that you could do is you could say, I always want this to be instant. I'm always going to put this into slot 1, and slot 1 will always be my instant items. And I want this to be quick cast, and I'm going to put in slot 2, and slot 2 is my quick cast items or something. Maybe a little bit awkward for you, but it's not going to be like a buy item thing. It's going to be a buy slot thing. Can we see Joust map soon? This is something that Isaiah was asking me about. He's like,
I've been trying to show you all Joust chat.
He's like, we should really show him Joust. He brings it up at least once a week. And I agree that we probably should. I think the big thing right now that we're trying to settle in before I show you even like early teases is the lighting for the map. And I feel like we're between a couple like extremes right now. And just from past of showing early things, whatever we show, half the players will love one thing, half will love the other, and they'll always be upset that we didn't do the other one. So I would love to show it off and get feedback on it soon, but I think we just need to be a little bit closer to like this is the direction.
Just a little bit more time to cook, but I've been hounding the team. I definitely want to show you all Joust very soon, chat.
Will Joust have new pathing or camps that addresses the S3 Joust map issues, like snowballing? I will say there are new gameplay features of the Joust map. I don't want to give it all away. I know there's a new boss, and the new boss, I think, has some interesting gameplay mechanics. I think there might also be, like, I don't know if it's actually going to make the final design. I'm not going to talk about it. There's a few other things that are definitely in development that are trying to address some of those issues. But yeah, definitely thinking about them. Snappish Quill has asked a couple times, but the one thing that we are working on that has us the most excited that we can talk about is, and the hard part about that is what I can talk about, because there's two things that we're working on that I am personally extremely excited about, but we can't talk about yet because they're a little bit early. And they may not end up happening. So, but I feel pretty good about them. But there's there are a few things in development that are very exciting. What can we talk about that's exciting?
I don't know.
Hold on, I'm gonna look at something. You think?
All right,
about,
cool.
Think about something. I'm gonna look and see if I can find this.
Cool. Let's see here. Show us Cupid. So the plan is this Wednesday, we will have someone from the design team on, and we'll be showing off Thor, Poseidon, and Cupid in game ahead of next week's update. So make sure you tune in on Wednesday. We'll have some in-game showcases for the next 3 gods.
Yeah, there may be some other stuff that we'll be able to show off too in addition to the gods. How can I show this emote? There's a specific global emote that I am just absolutely in love with. Can I Slack it to you?
You can Slack it to me, yeah.
And then maybe we can show it that way. But this is a dumb little thing, but I love it so much. Okay, I shared you the Slack message. This is for a future god because we just have to work so far out. But I loved this global emote from the moment I saw the first concept, and I was like, I'm really excited for this global emote. So Isaiah's gonna spoil this.
Well, you can't have a show without a spoiler.
Yeah, a little spoiler.
Spoiler. I will pull it up here. Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Let's see. How can I do this?
Yes.
Dun, dun. Does that play?
Oh, it's not playing.
Oh, no, it is. Nice. Cool. Boom. All right. Where's my laptop?
Okay, are you ready, chat?
All right,
are you ready for a global emote teaser?
It's good. It's perfect.
I thought it was great. I thought it was so good. And I think Davey did this one. I really like this one a lot. I appreciated the meme. If it's not for you, it's not for you.
Right.
Part of the fun about, like I said, kind of creative industry, right, is that different things get different people excited.
It's great.
So I really like this one.
Chat saying love it. Nice. Good. It's great.
Cool. There were a lot of neat global emotes coming out.
Yeah.
Those always get me really excited for every update. But,
That's great.
Love that one.
All right, now we've removed all the questions from our chat. So
yes.
Wait for things to load up again.
I'll scroll back up.
Any news on Tyr or Zhang? They are not in the first 50, so no news until after January.
And same for Cthulhu. Cthulhu also not in the first 50. I think that each of those gods has their own pros and cons and has been discussed internally a lot of times. But yeah, just not quite in the first 50. And there was another question about how soon after the first 50 are we going to get Merlin? We're not ready to talk about after the first 50. We have a list of who's coming afterwards for the first few after that. But focus right now is let's get through these 50. Excuse me.
No worries.
PlayStation 5 trophies, I think, should all be fixed except for Minions. I think that's the only one that's still outstanding. So let us know if there's something else that's not working.
Will we go back and re-add some of the animations and effects on the Zeus T5 that he had in Smite 1 and is missing in Smite 2?
I'm not sure what those are exactly.
Yeah.
But if it's a VXG, then we will definitely be adding that when we add VXGs. I'm going to take a picture. If there's other things, let me know.
Yeah. I know anything in Smite 1 that has to deal with the shield, of course, won't be in Smite 2 because that ability is different. But yeah, if there's anything else, definitely let us know.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense if it was shield specific things that we didn't bring over. I see the person asking for Lubu as a god after the first 50. We also aren't going to commit to future gods.
Yeah.
I will say Lubu has been a character that has been on the internal, discussion list for a very long time. I think the thing that just immediately comes to everybody's mind is the do not pursue Lubu, and I think it's fun. I think it could be an interesting character for the game, but hard to say exactly who we're doing for the new characters next year yet, beyond the first couple that we're already committed to.
I saw a couple people ask, or maybe it's the same person they've asked multiple times, but is there a way to remove trackers from your loading card? It only lets us change and add, not remove.
No, there's no way to remove things from your card yet. You can't remove badges either.
Yeah.
That's something that we need to do. Yes. I apologize. It's a known issue, but I know it can feel bad if you put something on there and you don't want it there anymore. We should at least have like a reset button.
Yeah.
That might be the easiest solution for the short term.
Like reset,
Yeah. Yep.
CA7 flash test today, please. Unfortunately, not. No.
Yeah, Wednesday, I think, is what we're
Wednesday, I
targeting
think,
right
is
now.
the plan.
Yeah. So on Wednesday, we'll on the show, we'll go through the new gods, and we'll get ready for the flash test and later that day.
Fingers crossed, yeah. Let's see here. Gods are missing a lot of animations. I'm assuming this is something that you guys will come back to later. Out of combat, victory defeats, idle animations, etc.
As far as I'm aware, victory and defeats are the only thing that we should be missing. I am not an animator. I do not know if there were other things that there was decisions made to change things. Just because something isn't there doesn't necessarily mean it's missing. It could be an intentional change for some reason that I don't know. The animations on like claps and waves and stuff, you do have to unlock through the Ascension Pass if you think those are missing. But yeah, the main thing that I know should not be there are the victory and defeat animations. But everything else should, I think, be largely there.
Can look into it.
Yeah.
Chat with Ben.
It is, a lot of people are saying that the last Roman god we did was 7 years ago. I don't know if I was, I thought Atlas was Roman. Was Atlas Greek?
I believe Atlas is Greek, yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe it has been 7 years. That's kind of crazy. We could definitely take a look at that.
Yeah. Let's see here. Someone did call out
Atlas
something.
is Greek. Chat is correcting me.
Yes. Gosh, I forgot my train of thought. Oh, a way to teleport to wards because we have the VGS line, place a ward for teleport. Maybe that's something we talk to the design crew about and get something in. Some of my favorite plays are ward teleports. Where's Chaos at? I just think of his play, his Jean Kui play when he teleported behind on Fire Giant. Let's see here. On PS5, Odin's Lunge is doing more damage than the tooltip indicates. The tooltip indicates 75 at level 1, but it deals 99 after prots on level 1 Ymir in practice.
I wonder if
could be a multitude of things.
It could be many things. It could be there's a text update that hasn't gone through yet on PS5. It could be that it's a jungle practice specific issue.
Right.
So jungle practice, or it's just called practice now. Practice runs on your console or on your PC. So it's not running on the server. So if there's something that has been updated on the server, but is not updated on your local, then
client,
it's not going to line up. And there's also some things that just will never be one-to-one. So whenever we find a bug, we always test it in non-practice to make sure that it's actually a bug.
Yeah.
So there are some practice-specific bugs. I'll take a look at that one, but yeah. We are working on different game modes. We will have Joust and Assault coming, in January.
And Duel.
Is the plan. And Duel. There's a bug in Xbox where when you pull up the home button, it cancels the queue. I wonder if that is a bug or if that is a cert requirement. They may force us to close the queue. I'm going to take a picture of that, and I will ask the person who is responsible for that.
Yep. Adding an option to get full stacks on an item in practice. That's good.
That's a good one. Yeah. That's a good one. I will make a note there. There's also a question like, how much are you thinking will be the price of a battle pass? A battle pass is about $10 in every game. If you price it more than $10, people are like, why the hell is it more than $10? I would expect it to be about $10 in Smite 2 when it comes around.
Dun dun dun.
Let's see. Yeah, the Bologna's one animation is very different. I think they just changed the animation from Smite 1 to Smite 2. Our goal was not to bring everything over completely one-to-one. There are certain things that we updated, and some people like it, some people don't.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned, but the slow on Izanami 2, is that supposed to get stronger with kills like in Smite 1? If that's not the way it's working in Smite 2, I can check in with Ro and see. I know our goal is to get to Smite 1 parity with just about everything.
Yeah,
so.
I know they made some other changes to Izanami though that maybe were meant to be different. Like I that may have been a design decision, but we can definitely ask. I feel like I have a lot of I need to follow up and ask today.
Right, I know, right?
I just have the answer. So good questions, guys.
This is one that keeps on coming up. We just have to sit down, Killgoon, and just really hammer on this, on the flood restriction for laughs and taunts, because I believe that we're unrestricted all this stuff.
Yeah, we're pretty confident it's unrestricted.
But we just need to sit down and, I don't know, figure out and test it out and see.
Yeah, but if it's not unrestricted right now in live, then it's not. Then maybe it's not. But
right.
I was pretty sure they say it's not. But are you saying it's not unrestricted like forever, or it's not unrestricted for it's unrestricted in chat but not the actual game? Oh. Okay. We'll take a look.
Up, yeah.
Yes.
I know Lermy was mentioning that there was some weird client versus server stuff.
Yes.
On that flood protection stuff. So
okay. We will follow up on that one. Sorry about that.
Can the teleporter give you a little bit of decaying momentum when you come out of the orb? It feels weird to just be moving at light speed and then come to a sudden halt. Maybe?
Maybe?
Can talk to level design and see. Yeah. This is just the moment that you exit out of the orb, just a little bit of decaying, slow down. I think that's fair.
Theoretically, yeah. Why do we keep avoiding soul questions? I think actually we addressed this soul not being able to jump while in her 3 in dev already. I'm pretty sure that AJ fixed that this week.
Cool.
So I'm not sure about the 2 being active, but I think he might have gotten to that one too. So we are aware of the soul jump issues. I think it's just I know if you're a big soul player, it's I don't like not being able to jump, but in the grand scheme of things, it's soul jumping. You know, we'll get it fixed, but it's on the list.
Remove block by other gods.
What does that mean?
It's so annoying. Maybe just for rank?
Do you mean getting block stacks? Because that's the only...
Yeah, Best Noob TV, if you could give us a little bit more info on what exactly you're talking about. Body block? I don't think we'll ever remove
body blocking. It's is part of SMITE.
It's fundamental to SMITE. We had a lot of feedback that it wasn't working the way it was supposed to, and we actually changed it to...
Yes. Is there a purpose for jumping other than just fun? I never understood the point. It's just for fun. Yeah. There are some people that just kind of constantly need to be doing something as they're running along, right? Some people just are tabbing or looking at the screen. Some people are just jumping nonstop. Some people are I'm a T screener personally. And we had a bug.
We had best players in the lobby. Yeah.
We had a bug one time where every time it was in dev when we were working on the new SMITE 1 UI. Where every time you T-screen, there was a slight memory leak on it. And I was just getting horrible performance and we couldn't figure out why it was me and nobody else. And it was oh no, it's because I'm just a rampant T-screen abuser. So, yeah.
Best Noob did clarify it's body blocks. So unfortunately, we're not going to remove that. Can you fix the timer resetting to 0 when a match ends?
The time, you mean at the top of the
game
screen?
timer resetting to 0?
The new gods will be shown off on Wednesday, so we'll have Poseidon, Cupid, and Thor. Sorry, forgot Thor. On Wednesday. If I'm not jumping, I'm global emoting. See, that's my kind of player.
The best of us.
Have you thought about involving the content more and teasing information? If you've ever played Hearthstone, you'll remember when a new expansion pack's about to release, they give new gods to content creators to tease. Could you do something similar with +1s? I think it would hype the community up again. I think we definitely could. We used to do more of this community kind of teasing thing. I think we just kind of have been going so fast.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're moving at such a light speed. It is hard to coordinate and get a big kind of teaser campaign set up.
Yeah.
And I think one of the other things is why tease when we can just come and talk to you all about it on Titan Talk,
Yeah, I think that something we can definitely look into doing a little bit more of, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe post January as we,
Yeah.
get past the first push to 50 for sure.
I don't know if Cupid got a new voice back. I guess we'll have to see on Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll see.
There's a question. I feel like we need more content creators for the game. Any ideas how to share/grow that side of the community? I think there's multiple reasons why content creators create content, right? I think that it's partially love of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's partially being a part of the community. I think it's partially once you get to a certain size that there's enough of a community to support you playing the game and make a living doing it or make some amount of money doing it, right? I think the best thing that we can do to grow our creator community is to grow the game itself. I think that's the number one thing, which hopefully we will be doing over time here as we progress SMITE 2's development. I think that we also are continuing to make our creator programs stronger and better, right? I think there's a lot of, we interact with our ambassadors pretty much all day in the Discord channel. There are kind of revenue sharing programs through Nexus. We try and do a lot for creators there, but we are open to more ideas. I will say that one thing that historically has not worked really well is like paying people to come play the game, right? That's usually more like an advertising buy where it's like you are paying to show your game to those people. And it's very rare that they will stick around, right? If they have fun, maybe they'll keep playing it for a little while longer and you get some bonus hours out of it or something. But the number one way to grow the content creation community, I think, is to grow the game itself. Can we expect fishing to be added as a jungle camp? I don't think there's any fishing plans right now for SMITE 2. That's a fun idea.
That's great.
Do you see any general consensus on how people feel about the teleporters, both from base and from the side jungles? I've seen mixed feelings on it from the community. I think that largely we feel like from the base has been pretty overwhelmingly positively received. I think everybody's just like, oh no, this just makes the flow of the game better, right? And I think that a lot of the initial concerns about not getting punished for, doing certain things hasn't really turned out to be the case, right? I think that it's a pretty good balance spot. I think that the outer lane teleporters have more of a mixed reaction from people. I think that there are pros and cons to them versus the SMITE 1 version. I think that if we had just put them into SMITE 2 like this without the SMITE 1 version, people would be more positive about them. But I think certain people really like the way that they're implemented in SMITE 1. So I think that that's something we're still looking at.
For sure.
What about SMITE Cart? Oh, my sweet child. Probably not anytime soon, but it's one of those things that theoretically is easier to do in UE5 if we come back to it. There's a question about parts and pieces skins. What's the possibility of different aspects of skins being decoupled? Example, I like X skins, but the weapons and effects from Y skin, allowing me to use X skin with Y skin's weapons effects. This is a very difficult thing to do, and it restricts our ability to make cool creative skins in a lot of ways. So like, the example that I can give is we did this in Paladins, and it was like you could have a different head, a different weapon, a different main skin, and a different accessory for every character. But in order to make a system like that work, you have to have a lot of restrictions around how you build each piece so that it fits together like Legos, right? So like if I'm head, like I couldn't have hair that comes down past here, not that I have any hair, because then it might interfere with the model. Whereas if I build the two pieces together, then I can build it so that they just work together, because I know that this model isn't going to go past this certain point. So it becomes, and also like just distributing it is less good, because it's like, do you just want to get the hat for a skin, or would you rather get the whole cool package? So our philosophy has been, it's better to make skins that are just a really cool whole package versus making these little parts and pieces that are kind of doomed to be less cool than the individual, than the all-encompassing skins could be.
Cool. All right, we're at 2:01, so one more question.
Let's do it. One more.
Let's see here. I will let chat fill up just for maybe 5 more seconds, and I'll choose.
Dandy's excited about one more question.
Nice. Cool. I'll take this one. Any plans to reintroduce some form of clan system? I would say not on the docket right now. We've talked a lot about clans over the history of Smite 1. You know, of course, clans have seen in Smite 1 various iterations of, you know, support. I think right now, no plans for clans in Smite 2 in the foreseeable future. I think one of the biggest things that we've seen is that people tend to congregate now in their own kind of personal Discord servers or friend groups and stuff like that. That's not to say that we aren't thinking about ways to reward people for playing together.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something on the docket. But I would say like a full-fledged clan system not being planned right now. But.
And I think that most people, the number one reason why people remember the clan system fondly was because you got the shadow skins from it, right? Where it's like we could just find other ways to give you skins, right? I'm going to answer 2.
Cool.
Because 2 popped up here while I was looking at them. Actually, I'm going to answer 3 because another one just popped up. That's good. The first one is the ward radius on console being broken. Known that it's broken, the UI programmer that needs to fix it, I think is going to look at it this week, maybe next week. So I know that it is annoying. They do work properly. It's just that the radius isn't showing properly on the minimap. And it's very hard to look at. So it's a known issue that we will be getting to hopefully sooner than later. I think it was misprioritized. Like, I think people didn't realize how bad it was. So it kind of went under the radar for a little while, and I apologize for that. What was the other ones that I wanted to get to? Oh, I only play Arena. Will there be ranked? Do not believe data mining. There will not be ranked Arena. This is not, it's not a good experience. We've tried it in the past. Arena is a very fun game mode that breaks down when everybody's taking it ultra seriously. It's you got to just be willing to have a little bit of fun with it, or else it's not that fun. I'm sure that like Jithens or somebody will run an Arena tournament that you can play in. You can get a little bit of it there.
You got to follow aggro's rules in Arena. Triple double, you know. You need 2 digits in kills, deaths, and assists for Arena.
Yep. And then there was there's one more question. I can't find the exact one that was like, how do we submit bugs if they aren't addressed here on Titan Talk for new players? Just helping get the message out. We have a bug report form. Yes. Where can we find the bug report form?
So the bug report form is actually linked on smite2.com. I believe if you click that little drop-down menu that's in the top bar, there is a link to the bug report form. You can also go to our official Discord server. That bug report form is there as well. But if you don't want to fill out the form, there is a bug report thread channel in the Discord where you can just create a thread. And I know Kabir and Kitten of Doom and Caps Lock spend a lot of time going over not only the bug report form, because the bug report form feeds directly into an internal Slack channel that everybody looks at. And then I know our crew is keeping an eye on the Discord all the time. So
yep, we definitely we'll see it if you post it either of those places. We may not respond to it directly, but we will see it and get it on the list. The other thing that is most helpful is if this weird thing happened to me is useful. It's more useful if it's this weird thing happened to me and here's how I can make it happen again.
Yes.
Right? If you're like, hey, I found that every time I do X, Y happens. That's more useful than just like my character model was suddenly 3 times bigger than it should have been with no additional context. It's like, that's really hard for us to track down, right? Like, it's like, give us the match ID at least, give us some context about who was in the game. You know, like we need information to be able to chase things down.
I believe there are fields for like your in-game name, your platform. I believe we even have fields for like, you know, what your setup configuration is, like your graphics card, processor, and stuff like that. Just because making games is hard and there are so many individual pieces that can affect a game. Having all that information just helps the QA team track things down a whole lot easier.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, that was my 1 question and Killgoon's 3 questions.
I'm sorry. I was 3 for the price of 1.
No, I love it. I love it. Well, chat, thanks so much for hanging out for our Monday edition of Titan Talk. Join us again on Wednesday, 1 p.m. ET, right back here on twitch.tv/SmiteGame. We're going to be going over Thor, Cupid, and Poseidon in game.
An exciting one.
Exciting one for sure. Got 3 new gods coming to the battleground next week in Smite 2, so we're going to be showing them off in game ahead of the flash test that should hopefully start Wednesday afternoon. We'll have more information on that, of course, during our Wednesday show. But until then, we will see you all on the battleground. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Until then, peace.